Welcome back, everybody. Tuesday morning edition of Hot Mic rolls on. Summer League tournament begins a week from tomorrow. The NSIC tournament begins tomorrow for teams seeded 5 through 12. And after the mess of what the top of the men's basketball standings were, we talked about it last week with our next guest. The Dragons won both games, elevated themselves to the 3 seed. In the process, they get a bye, and they don't have to play till Sunday, which I imagine is music to the ears of Dragon men's basketball head coach Tim Bergstraser. Although you were telling me off air you're bored because you don't know what to do here for the last couple days.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, I can watch film on anybody I want, but I'm just eager to see who our next opponent is going to be. So I'm usually just like as soon as Sunday hits, I mean, I'm usually preparing for our next opponent and watching games or watching ourselves. And I mean, I think I can only watch ourselves so much without, paralysis by analysis or whatever some people say. So yeah, I'm eager just to watch the basketball games at this point. I mean, the NSIC is going to be a very fun tournament,
Oh,
and I
man.
think like we talked last time, it's going to be very interesting for a lot of teams.
Let's just go into the fact you have the rest after how beat up you are and have been. How much do you say, okay, this is awesome. We get a few days to be off our feet and then get ready later in the week to whoever we're going to play down in Sioux Falls.
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody would say if you have the opportunity to get a bye, that's the main deal you want is just getting that rest. And I do think our team specifically needs it. There's a handful of guys that are definitely banged up, and every single team is banged up in some capacity in our league. But it'll be a nice couple of days to really just reset, refresh, and at the same time, it really gives us an opportunity to worry about ourselves here a little bit and try to tighten up on some things without worrying about our next opponent too soon. So I'm gonna get very antsy all week. I know that because it's a long week to wait until playing until Sunday. So and some people would say they'd rather still play a game so then they're not sitting all week, not doing anything. I mean, you go back and forth, but for the Dragons, we need this rest really bad, and then we'll get right back to it.
You end up finishing, you have the longest win streak going in the NSIC. You've won 8 games in a row. I know you have something to tell me, hey, we want to play our best ball now, but describe getting healthy and now trending in that direction, heading to the conference tournament where the best basketball for the Dragons is still out there for you.
Yeah, and we've months ago, even just fresh out of Christmas break when we were going through all the losses, I mean, we just continue to tell our guys to believe and just like you just said, I mean, we're trying to play our best basketball at the end of the year, and it's not gonna be a one night fixes it all. It's definitely a process. It's not perfect, and but that has definitely been our goal, and we really believe we were improving and going in the right direction. So to be honest, I didn't even know we were on that win streak. I mean, I know we've won a handful here in a row, but I mean, we've been so caught up in just the daily process here as a group. And I mean, I know anybody says it. I know how many times I've said it on here too, but like this group they're deeply bought into just whatever. They're not worried about what's ahead of them. They're just so focused on the day-to-day process. And I mean, it's been really fun to coach because they're definitely locked in. So, we like I said, it's gonna be a long wait here. We're ready to get after it.
Not that you need any reminder, but for our viewers and listeners, there were 4 teams that won 20 games in the NSIC. 3 more won 19. That doesn't tell you how freaking good this league was. I don't know what will. That's amazing.
Yeah, again, it's something I've never seen before.
Man.
And I think of any level on basketball, coaches say if you could get to 20 wins, that's a really big deal.
Sorry, I shortchanged one. There's 5 at 20 wins. 5!
My goodness. So if you get 20 wins, and you definitely don't see that a lot. But again, goes to show, like we say it all the time, this league is so well balanced, and that's why as coaches stress a lot and don't sleep. And it's but like I also said, if you're a big time competitor, this is type of stuff you want to be around because it's the best basketball out there. I mean, we'd obviously argue that with anybody. This league is tough, top to bottom, very well balanced, well coached, high level players, and I mean it's basically a little mini D1 league.
Watching what happened Saturday, I think that may have got people's attentions, Tim, to see what you did. I know Mankato isn't the same team that won the national championship a year ago, but they are the reigning champs. They're still really good, and you beat them as handily as you did. Even after the game, were you surprised at how well you guys played when you went into the locker room after the game Saturday?
I don't want to say I'm surprised how well we played, because I mean we have been playing pretty consistent here over the last month or two, and like going into the game, you just never know. Competition is so stinking unpredictable, and basketball is basketball. The ball just doesn't bounce in your favor every once in a while. So it's I don't want to say I'm surprised how well our guys played because they have been very locked in. I always want our guys to show up and play to the highest level that they can and just be ready to make winning plays. And we like to think that'll match against our opponent. And then, whatever the scoreboard shows at the end, that's what it is. But we continuously talk about not worrying about what that scoreboard is showing and just worrying about one possession at a time because if you're obviously caught up in what that lead might be, you get caught pretty quick, especially against Mankato. There's such a high level scoring offense. So when we're up by 12, 15, whatever it
Yeah.
was at half, I mean, it's like NBA, man. That's fools. But we saw what happened to the Timberwolves game
That's
last night
true.
too. So no lead is ever safe, and we just got to make sure we're worrying about one possession at a time.
So you were joking with me off air here that you didn't know where you guys finished after you won the game. How long did it take to tell the team, hey, we finished third? When did you get the heads up from the league or from anybody that where you were and who you were going to play?
Yeah. Well, anybody I ran into gave me all their 2 cents and all their scenarios, and I'm just they're acting like I was supposed to have any idea what's going on, and I had no clue. And like I was saying, I was hoping that when the game was over, someone was going to basically meet me in our team room saying like, all right, here you are, or whatever. That's what I wanted, but that was not the case. I had to sit and wait for a good 45 minutes to an hour, and then eventually our AD Chad Markson came up to us, and then he got the information that we were the 3 seed, and then he started giving everybody else. I was like, I don't care, I'm just happy where we are, where we're at. So, and then it was senior night, so actually like all the parents and families, friends were all in our back lobby, and we had a dinner. So I was able to basically
Nice.
announce it to all them at that time. So it was a pretty fun moment just for our overall program.
That's fantastic. I got to give a couple words from you from your big guy in Jacob Jennison. What he did a 3. I know he can do that, but what kind of game he had for you on Saturday? McFeely and I were talking about in our first hour about he's a old school traditional player in the sense that we just don't see back to the basket kind of players anymore in modern day basketball.
No, you really don't. I don't think there's a traditional fives, not too many in our league in
No.
general. And it's a lot more skill and mobile. And I mean, even with Jenny, like he's 7'1", he's a good athlete, and he's very mobile. Like he's not just a stiff. I mean, he could really move around, and on top of all that, he works extremely hard. So it's like you put all that combination together, that makes him a dangerous player. But we've grown to utilize him a lot more within our offense, and he's gotten a lot more confidence down there on the block. And we've had a vision whenever we talk one on one or just as a group that we believe he could be doing stuff that he's doing right now. I mean, we're very confident to say he's one of the more dominant forwards out there. And on top of that, he's an incredible human being, and he's
Yeah.
such a low key individual. Like he doesn't care about accolades or nothing. He's very similar to like Dane Zimmer and just how low key they are. So he just wants to win, and just to see if you would have saw where he was the beginning of last preseason to where he's at now, it's just incredible.
Mm.
Just the growth that this young man has had in his game. And it's due to all the work that he's put in. And it's obviously made us a much better basketball team.
All right, so you are the 3 seed. You're going to play the winner of Duluth and Augie. That game is tomorrow night in Duluth. You just saw Duluth, the crazy finish you had last weekend, 2 weekends ago up there. I know you can't start prepping for either one. You know each of these teams. What when you look at it, I mean, is this a coin flip like every other game in the NSIC, this one that's going to happen tomorrow night?
Yeah, and again, I almost watched some film on both of them yesterday, just because again I've been twiddling my thumbs here, just waiting. But yeah, if you look top to bottom, both sides of the bracket, it really is a toss up, and it's going to be very interesting. But Duluth, I mean, they're tough, they're physical,
Yeah.
they guard, they got a lot of experience. And then when you look at Augustana, they're in every single game, and they got a lot of guys that could really fill it up from three, and they've gotten better throughout the entire year, and I think they are playing their better basketball right now when I've watched their games. So no coach is feeling comfortable in any of these games, I'll tell you that. I mean, they're obviously going to like their teams, but every stinking game, when you look at it, I really, like you said, I really believe it's like a coin flip, and it's come down to who's going to show up and compete the hardest and make the least mistakes and be ready to make more plays than the other. So, but it's tournament time, man. It's time to buckle up. It's the most fun part of the season.
I got 2 questions for you to end. You probably don't want to answer, but you play at the 7 o'clock game on Sunday night. That's the last one everyone else will have played before you. Is that a thing? Is that no thing in your mind?
If you got a mature team, I don't think it really matters. We do have a couple young guys, new faces that haven't played at the Pentagon before, but I mean, our guys have shown that. I mean, they're definitely mature, especially on the road. We've handled
Yeah.
maturity
Yep.
pretty dang well, no matter where we're playing, what time. So it's just up to us to make sure we're getting up and moving. We'll have a shoot around early in the morning, maybe try to find somewhere to shoot. But like I said, if you even like talk to pros or listen to pros, like it's a process throughout the day. You're not just going to go sit in your room all day. You're going to have to get up and move and do a little stretch and maybe a little extra film study. And that's just what it takes when you're really invested in this stuff. So would I rather play earlier? Yes. But again, it's when it comes to competition, throw that ball up anywhere, anytime. Let's just go.
The Central Regional rankings came out last week. The Dragons are in. You've obviously won 2 more games to get to 20. I know you're not on the committee. Do you believe you've done enough if you don't win the conference tournament to get a berth to the NCAAs?
I think we put ourselves in a good position, but from experience and what I've seen in my, I don't know, 10, 11 years of college coaching, like you're never comfortable. It's just so many crazy things can happen.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be content with anything. Our mindset's going to still be to win as many games here as possible and everyone we get. So especially any opportunity we get with this group, I mean, we just got to appreciate it. So, but to answer your question, no, I'm not comfortable. I'm never going to be comfortable when it comes to regional rankings. The only time I will be very quickly satisfied is when I see that name, if it pops up on that TV. That'll be the time I'm nice and happy. But till then, we're just going to wait.
Or you're cutting the nets down in Sioux Falls next week, right? Then you don't have to worry about it then.
Yeah, trust me. That everybody wants that opportunity to climb up a ladder and cut a net down. But then again, like I always say, you got to rewind yourself to where you're at right now. We got stuff to do today. So, like I said, tournament time, March Madness is almost here.
Man.
All these basketball junkies. I mean, it's strap up. It's about to be a fun time.
I've said it before. I said it to you. NSIC tournament, it should not go unwatched. If you've not gone or watched, it's dynamite. The basketball is going to be fantastic, and it's a great setting in the Pentagon, as you well know, and we're looking forward to seeing what happens coming up later this week. Thanks, as always, for the time, my man. Appreciate it. Good luck on Sunday. We'll talk next week, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
Tim Bergstraser joining us, MSUM men's basketball head coach. Dragons will play Sunday night, 7 o'clock in Sioux Falls. They'll play the winner. Eric, you throw that bracket up again here before we go to break, against Duluth or Augustana. And, I mean, you look at this, just real quick here before we go to break. Concordia St. Paul is the number 1 seed. They won 21 games. Southwest State, number 2 seed. They won 21 games. The Dragons won 20. Mankato won 19. St. Cloud won 19. Duluth won 20. Winona won 19. Minot won 23 games, and they're the 8th seed is Minot State. This is a murderer's row of teams here. And I keep an eye on that Minot State team. We had Matt Merkin on earlier. They got all the way up into the top 4 in the country in rankings. They finished 23-8. That's still a really good basketball team. Who knows who's going to make it to the championship, which is a week from tonight down in Sioux Falls. We'll take our final break. We come back. We'll wrap things up. Get you ready. We got a busy Tuesday ahead of us. Why not? It's a Tuesday in February. A lot going on. We wrap up Hot Mike right after this.